video of my 2016 Polaris Rzr 900. It's the 50-inch trail model. Basically, it's the base model. Steel rims, no power steering. It does have the turf control on it, which basically all that does is just one wheel peel if you're going to pulling a trailer around your yard or something like that. I've got to put about 150 miles on it now. And where I live, it's all flat fields, ditches. We got a few trails and it was fairly muddy out. We went out the last Saturday night, a bunch of us, in case anyone's looking to buy one of these things, and this is my thoughts of it. I got off a four-wheeler. I had a Can-Am 1000 Renegade. Got off that to get on one of these, and so it's a different kind of fun. I like it. I've been four-wheeling for a lot of years, so this is different for me. The power steering, I've tried it with the power steering, and this one doesn't have it. I mean, when you're going slow and you're in deep ruts and hitting stuff, you kind of would like it, but when you're doing fast trail riding, I would rather have this than without the power steering, because you feel the ground when you're driving. But the power steering is so light, it feels like you get that control real easy. Now the suspension on it, this doesn't have the Fox, it's just your standard suspension. It works great for now. I mean, it's not broken in yet, but for me, the suspension works amazing on it. I actually cranked the springs up 2 notches. It actually raised the machine up a bit for more ground clearance, and it rides nice for what it is, because we go across a lot of plowed fields. That's the other thing. This thing runs, the power of it's not the 1000, but I mean, it's pretty close to the 1000, I would say. For a 50-inch machine, this thing really goes. And handling wise, I know like a lot of the 800s were real tippy, and I've actually rolled an 800 myself. And this thing here, it feels 100 times more stable than an 800. Like, I would say you can't even compare this machine to an 800 at all, in all aspects. Everything, it's a little bit bigger inside. It's got more room in the seats. Everything about it is a lot different than the 800. I got a couple friends with the 800s, and you can't even compare the two machines. Like we were out on Saturday night, we were crossing ditches. Pretty much every ditch that came in our path in the county. You put this thing in four-wheel drive. We were going through ditches that had to have been 15, 16 feet deep, water in the bottom, no problems. In and out, not an issue. Crossing rough plowed fields as fast as this thing will go, and it handles it, rides smooth. It takes the jumps. I got a motocross track in the back, and this thing, me and my brother were jumping ours and having no issues jumping the table, clearing the tabletop with it. I'll have video of that. And all I did on mine is I made my own roof for it. It's nice to have the roof on it. Put a hitch on it, and that's about it for now. I'm going to put the doors. It'd be nice. I don't know why they don't put the factory full doors on these things. I still don't understand that. It'd be nice because you do get a lot of mud coming in through here if you're in the deep stuff. And Saturday we were in the mud and water up to about here. Just all the bush trails around here. Everything's still soaking wet. And it's another thing. This thing went through the mud like it was not even an issue. Great machine. I would recommend. I've got to try both the Can-Ams and these RZRs, and I mean, it depends on the riding. If you're doing trail riding in your flat land, bush riding, anything like that, I would go with the 50-inch. I find this thing, I almost think it goes through more than the 60 for some reason. And everything about all the gauges on it, it's a great machine. So if you're watching this video, my review on it is I will 100% on these. I can't tell you the reliability. I have, like I said, only got 150 miles on it. But so far, no problems. I actually did end up wrapping a big cable around my front tire, a four-wheel drive coming out of a ditch. So for some reason, there's a big, thick steel cable there. It wrapped right around my one side tire a couple times so the machine stopped. Nothing bent, nothing got broke. I've known Polaris to be a pretty durable machines compared to the Can-Ams and the Bombardiers, where you roll those things, you hit a tree stump, you're going to bend those things in half. I know from experience. The snowmobiles are the same way. For the Polaris, I mean, I've been reading on forums, guys are hitting trees with these things, ripping the A-arms off, not even tweaking the frame at all. It's both a new set of A-arms on. That was another reason I lean towards the Polaris, because I'm pretty hard on my machines. And I want something that if I do end up clipping a tree or anything, That this thing, I just want to bolt on a new set of arms, not have to worry about it. And I would highly recommend the Nerf bars from the bottom, the tree bars, whatever you want to call them. And then they got, the only thing I'm going to downside on these Polarises is everything is plastic in this thing. You have to get a bumper or else you're going to cause some damage to this thing. Same with the rear end. If you got to get the bumpers for these things. You could be backing up in the trail or something, just touch a tree, you're going to crack something. I'm sure this stuff's not cheap. So that's one thing you pretty much, I would put 100% on this is the bumpers, and I wish they would have maybe come factory with the bumpers instead of an option. I mean, you can get the upgraded models, but I mean, you can spend up to $30,000 on one of these, and in my eyes, that's crazy. And this machine here for 16 is a damn good machine. Okay, now bear with me, this thing's a little dusty. I had it out around my backyard. Usually I keep my stuff really clean, but I've been using this thing a lot because it's nice and new. So we'll go over the features on this thing. You got the door is really nice, just a push button. You got to kind of slam them to get them to lock in, but I mean, really nice door kit. What I like about this is you got floor drains on both sides. You pull that out and the water just runs right out of there. It's mint. And you also have on the driver's side and the passenger side, you got a spot to rest your foot. So if you're in some rough stuff, you can really brace yourself in this thing. The seats, really comfortable seats in this, especially compared to the old 800s. And the seat comes out, you just reach your hand back, unclip the seat, and it slides right out. Extremely easy to get those seats in and out, so when you're washing it. It's got the access panels right here. This just pops right off, so when you're washing it, you can get at everything in there. That's also where your coolant reservoir is and whatnot. And like I've said, how there's no bumpers on this thing, you can see everything is plastic. So you bump a tree, you're going to do some damage to this thing. And like I said on this one, I clicked my shocks just up 2 on the springs. I ride it pretty hard going through the fields, bouncing through ditches, and even like that it rides smooth for me. And especially if you got a passenger, you kind of want the extra shock on there. And then the other thing this thing has, a safety option. You must have your seatbelt clicked in. I mean, you can drive it, I think it goes maybe 15 miles an hour with the seat, and it doesn't give you full power unless you got your seatbelt locked in. Your passenger bar, that's really nice. It goes in and out. So basically fits anybody you want to put in there. It extends out that far. Really nice option. The gauge package is nice. You can go through it all. Gives you all your RPMs, everything like that. It's got your power port. The turf mode, this is your 4-wheel drive right up. Then you got your podsy in the back, and then turf mode all the way down. Then your high-lows, and you can shut the lights off, which is nice. It's got a nice big box. I mean, you put a huge cooler back here, chainsaw, whatever you want. And then again, it's got another access panel here, which actually brings you to that's your air cleaner. So to clean your air filter is really easy. And then when you're washing it, obviously you can get the top of the engine nice. And same thing with the back, it's all plastic. The only downfall I can give this machine is just I don't like how much plastic. It should have factory bumpers on it. I just put this hitch sleeve in here, 1.25 inches. That's really nice. You don't have to bolt nothing on. You just slide the receiver in and it works mint. And that's about it for the base model. I mean, like I said, you can spend up to 30 on one of these things. But yeah, so my opinions on it is a great machine all around. Alright, for my final opinion on this machine, if you're watching this video right now and you're thinking, am I going to go with the S model, am I going to go with the Can-Am? My opinion on it, for this machine, I've actually got to try the 2016 Can-Am Maverick, the base model that they sell for that. And they're the same speed, we actually drag raced them. I feel the suspension's a little plusher on the Can-Am, but it's got a lot of roll feeling to it. It's still a nice machine. I would prefer this for the style riding I do. It's all in preference, but if you're looking at one of these machines to buy and you really want an honest opinion, I'm 100% I would say buy one of these. You're not going to be disappointed with this thing. The ride of it's great. The power of it's got a lot of power for 900. I was a little unsure about that. But this thing's got a lot of power. And I'm actually going to buy a programmer. I think you can get them for around $400 or $500. And it is supposed to keep the reliability of the motor. Bumps it up to almost 100 horsepower and gets rid of the speed governor, which is another fault on this thing. The speed governs it out at around, I think it's 65 mile an hour, 68 mile an hour. And you run, it's got tons more power to keep going. I don't know why they govern it so slow. So it's a great machine, a great all-around machine. So I hope this video helps. And if you have any questions, just leave me a private message or comments, and I'll answer questions on it if you're looking to buy one of these things. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos of just this thing in action and all the other stuff I do. And don't forget to like our page on Facebook. It's called 519 Crew. Thanks for watching.